Greetings once again, mages. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, where previously we had the continued battle between Urza and Wed, but it was interrupted by what seems to be a Exceed made of fire named Misfortune arriving to inform Wed about the capture of Natsu and how their plans are about to be implemented. I had to think of the word for a second. But Wed, he wants to continue his fight all the more now. At the same time, Gray and the others are also informed about Natsu's capture. And as they take off, the defeated Raj shows that he wasn't as down for the count as it seemed he was. Meanwhile, Natsu is brought before Ignia, who asks Natsu to join him, as Ignia has plans to implement the true Dragon King Festival. If you know anything about any of the Dragon King Festival, it means the death of many a human. Naturally, Natsu is opposed to this and attacks Ignia, who doesn't even budge at Natsu's strike. And Ignia decides, well, you're not with us, you're against us. What'll happen to Natsu now? Especially considering that he has yet to put so much as a scratch on Ignia. Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 162. Reunion? Said like a question. An interesting cover page. Man, they've really been doing some interesting stuff with the cover pages, showing off stuff that we've never seen or characters we're not expecting or haven't seen in a while. To have Jet and Racer going head to head, that's interesting. Especially since it's the matchup that probably makes the most sense. We pick up with Natsu politely refusing Ignia's offer with a punch to the face, something that Ignia tanks with his forehead. The other members of Fire and Flame are shocked by Natsu's brazen assault on their leader, and Natsu coldly asks, "You really Ignia's kid?" He loved humans, and Ignia simply closes his eyes, and without even emotion, he sets off an explosion that knocks Natsu back. Ignia smiles at him, saying, "My dad is my dad, and I'm me." Very true, all things considered. I mean, he might be out for wiping out humanity to some degree, but he has a point. Children are not carbon copies of their parents. Natsu finds himself on the ground, smoldering, looking at himself, questioning, what are these flames? Ignia, still sitting on his throne, says, all of the humans here are prepared. What? To go to the dragon world? What? Is he saying that in the context of making the world a world of dragons? Maybe transforming them into dragons? That is a possibility because of Dragon Slayer magic, but none of them use Dragon Slayer magic. Or are we talking about a literal world of dragons? Like potentially dragons didn't actually exist in Earthland before they came to that world. Natsu questions, the dragon world? Ignia questions him, I told you, remember? The true Dragon King Festival. Yeah, I gotta admit, I have no idea what he's talking about. Is a festival of humans and dragons. That didn't clarify anything for me, although I love the cold look Natsu's giving him. What the hell? Suddenly something shines on the ceiling, and Natsu gets this shudder. Oh, something bursts down from the ceiling right in front of Natsu. Oh, and both Natsu and Ignia are taken off guard by this. Okay, I thought Ignia was doing something. Or was he summoning someone? And a pillar of energy is formed, and a figure takes shape in the pillar, saying, a festival of humans and dragons? That's not quite right. And Natsu and Ignia are still on guard. What the hell is this? Who is this? And who would even cause Ignia to be a bit on guard? Meanwhile, back between the battle between Urza and Wed, Urza questions, the true Dragon King Festival? Wed says, yeah, once that starts, I won't be able to settle things with you. I'm still not certain what they mean by this. And Misfortune calls out, Weddy, don't tell her too much. But suddenly, that massive pillar of light erupts nearby with a massive boom, and Urza, Wed, and Misfortune take notice. Misfortune questions, it started? No, this is something else. She sprouts her wings and flies up, saying, the Fire God's castle is that way. Wed questions, what? Misfortune turns to him, saying, we gotta go back, Weddy. Suddenly up comes Gray and the others. Gray calling out Urza, and Lucy questioning, you okay? Urza turns saying, guys. Wendy then spots the others saying, are they? Carla finishes questioning Fire and Flame members? Uh-oh. Happy and Misfortune then lock eyes. Oh, really? And as Happy gets a good look at Misfortune, he jumps towards her with Joy saying, a fire cat? So cute! And Happy shyly says, I'm Happy, want a fish? And Carla gets pissed off saying, hey! Misfortune then says, Happy? And Happy pulls out a fish and presents it to her. And oh my god, they're cut from the same cloth. Misfortune squeezes and says, that sounds kind of cute. And Happy blushes saying, and what's your namey? And Carla's just aghast saying, they're getting chummy. But Wed then calls out, let's go, Misfortune. Gray questions, Misfortune? And Lucy states, that's the opposite of Happy, which I didn't even think about. I didn't even process that. Like, they are, I guess, opposites. Happy and Misfortune. I would think it would be sad, but okay. Misfortune turns to Happy and says, maybe this is fate, Happy-y. Happy-y? And Happy smiles saying, maybe it is Misfortune-y. They're little dorks. They're so precious. I actually kind of love this. Wed, obviously a little bit annoyed at this, says, so, I suppose we must return. Let us meet again if fate allows, Urza. He turns to leave as Urza simply grits her teeth. Man, it's kind of wild actually seeing Urza go up against someone and didn't really get to decide on the victor in this one. Although it wouldn't be the first time she had to have a rematch with someone. Gray, meanwhile, points to that weird pillar of light, saying, let's follow. The light's coming from the Fire God's castle. And Lucy notes, but what is that light? She then questions, black magic? Oh. You then cut to the Fire God's castle, where the pillar of dark light is emanating from? Going towards? I'm not really sure how that's working. We cut back to Natsu and Ignia standing before where the pillar has hit the ground. Everyone present just on guard. I swear, the other members of Fire and Flame have been in this perpetual reaction shot of pretty much shitting their pants. Yeah, seriously, who is this? It's kind of looking like, almost looks like Athena and the Pillar of Black Magic. Ignia questions, who are you? The figure says, there was a battle in Ishgal a year ago known as the Dragon King Festival. A battle between humans, Acnologia, and a black wizard, fire dragon god. The light dissipates, and the figure is a little bit more clear. They say, you're missing something for the Dragon King Festival. You'll need a black wizard. And both Natsu and Ignia shudder. Wait, what? What? And the figure that stands before them is this world's version of Ferris, saying, I am the black wizard Ferris. I'll join this battle. It didn't even dawn on me that they would do this. Because only the anime version really went into the whole parallel world thing after a certain point. See, when we went to Adoles, we saw all the counterparts of our hero, but we had villains that were pretty much exclusive to that. It was only during the anime version of Fairy Tail that we saw counterparts to those versions of people that we had never really seen in Earthland. So when we had Ferris, and she turned out she was from Elentir, yet another parallel world, I didn't actually think about seeing her counterpart here, because I'm just like, that's something that the anime version would usually pick up the slack for. But it's like, no. Despite the nature of Ferris, she was still very powerful. Because no matter how you feel about Ferris, he was still able to control one of the dragon gods. She was able to control multiple wizards at once. Ferris was stupidly powerful, which is why I didn't question whether or not she was the white wizard or anything like that. And given the nature of parallel universes, a dark reflection of Ferris, who's just as powerful, but a black wizard instead? And potentially knowing the nature of how many disciples and followers and people who worshipped Zareth and this, that, and the other. I mean, the original fairy tale series was littered with people who followed Zareth, were trying to resurrect Zareth because they thought he was dead, tried to follow in his teachings, tried to resurrect his creations. The implications of this, oh my, it actually makes a lot of sense from that standpoint. Oh, crap. Alright, kid, where are you from? How powerful are you? Oh boy. I'm curious where this is gonna go. As Natsu's like, Paris? But if Natsu remembers the whole parallel world thing, he'll understand. Well, Ignia thinks she feels like Acnologia. Oh shit. Also, she looks kind of badass. See, I feel like some people are gonna be like, oh, this just comes out of nowhere. I'm like, no. It's the Ferris thing initially that kind of comes out of nowhere. The whole Atlanteer, all of that stuff. It just kind of happens. And it's through a weird series of events that we have Ferris and Toka, and how that ends up going into Selene and this and that. It's like, it's a series of massive coincidences that all just happen to fairly well enough tie in together. Because Ferris only did what she did as a result of what Selene was doing to Atlanteer. And Toka just really got wrapped up in all of that. But that was the thing. Ferris was stupidly powerful. He was able to control so many people, so many things, with so much weird amounts of power. Like, whereas Adolis had no power, Atlanteer was overflowing with it. But what would be the opposite of the good-natured Ferris, who was a priestess and a worshipper of the right way of doing things and all that? A Ferris who was a black wizard, black magic, and a worshipper of the ultimate evil of Earthland, Zareth. More than likely someone who studied the ways of Zareth. I mean, shoot, might be Master Hades 2.0. I'm curious. I'm not going to dismiss any of this because I am so curious where this is going. And if she is anywhere near as powerful as the Alternia Ferris, oh god. Because, again, though the water dragon god was not as powerful as he used to be, he was still stupidly powerful, and she controlled him. We dealt with Ferris for 3 different story arcs of this. Man, I'm okay with it because I was wondering. It felt like there needed to be something else. There had to be something else. Because going into the battle with Ignia, it was a little too straightforward. Like, there had to be something else. And here it is. I'm interested to see how this plays a part in everything. But I'm also still wondering what Ignia means by Dragon World, True Dragon King Festival. What does it all truly mean? What does he mean the members of Fire and Flame are ready? What is this weird kind of indoctrination that's going on here? There's so many mysteries. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.